So your Kia slash Hyundai slash baby girl needs a new intake manifold. We got you covered. Let's replace it. We'll start by removing our engine cover. It's held on with grommets, so all we have to do is pull up in some key areas, and it'll ungrommet itself. Just these little grommets here. Now when we go to put this back on, we'll lubricate those with a little dielectric grease. That'll make it easier to put on and off in the future. So our lower manifold lives down here. We have to pull off our upper manifold. There's lots of different ways you can tackle this. We're gonna start by getting this wiring harness out of the way. Two 10mm bolts up top. We can follow the wires to the electrical connectors and unplug them. Should be a pinch and pull. Come on, buddy. You know you want to. There we go. Let me get a little pick for that other one. There we go. Sometimes if you can't push down on this to release the tab, you can come in on the front with your pick and pop up. Now we have these retainers. Honestly, a lot of times they just like to break. So don't feel bad if they do. Some of the ones that are easy to get to, you can get with a pair of needle nose. You just pinch on this side and it'll snake right through, just like that. So right here, you just pinch and it comes out. Now you should be able to do that to all of them, but some you just can't really get access to without pulling off a bunch of stuff that we don't really care to pull off. So in that case, you just try to pull up and it'll probably break. Let me see about getting a screwdriver in here. Maybe we can push on one side with a screwdriver and then pull on the other side. There we go. So I just pushed on one, pulled on the other. Nice. We have our ignition coils here, are part of that same harness. Now, we don't have to actually do the ignition coils because we're gonna just slough the harness over. So we can leave those, scratch that. Our injectors though, pop those off. Just push and pull. This one I'm just getting with my pick. Push and pull, perfect. Got this one here, okay. Nice so far. We got another 10 we missed. So 3 tins, okay. We'll follow this along. We have another retainer. I'm just gonna get under it, push one side, and then push the other side. Hey, nice. Okay, all these electrical connectors. This one at the bottom, you flip up on the tab and it comes out. So it's not a push, it's actually a pull. Chevy uses those a lot. And then these though are pinch and pull. Nice, pinch and pull, sweet. Oh, there's a lot of connectors. So this is a lift up one here. So just look at your connectors. Some are lift up, some are pinch. So far they're all coming off really easy. Got this one up here. Okay, and then we just have this retainer here. Nice, so it's working really good. Just push on one side while you pull it, and then that one side starts to come out, and then you push on the other side, and the rest of it comes out. Hey, look at us. Looks like there's another retainer down here. I think that'll really help us if that's popped out. Yeah, nice. I'm gonna get a little bungee cord, and that's all this has to do. I don't like how it's tugging on this wire here, so I'm gonna pull this little retainer as well. That electrical connector goes to our VVT solenoid, is that what that is? We don't have to pull the connector, I just wanna relieve some tension on that wire. See if I can get to it with my pliers. There, got it, perfect. Okay, in the back, right up top, there's a 10mm. Oh, it's gonna be a shallow. It's holding on our power steering line. It's a 10mm, perfect. And then on this side, you'll just have to look, but there is a bracket that's bolted directly to the top. So we wanna find that, get that bolt. Feels like a 12, maybe a 14. Let's see what it is, 14. Let me zoom in and see if I can get some eyeballs on it. So right there is the bolt for that bracket. We'll just take that bolt off. We don't have to remove the bracket. 14mm. I'll break it loose with a bigger ratchet first. Is that gonna be a deep? Okay, 14mm deep socket. Break it loose. There we go. I think I can get it with my fingers the rest of the way. Ugh, it's taking too long. I think that is it on this side for now. There are 2 hoses we can get up top. This one in the center. Let's take that little clamp off. We'll twist the hose and push up on the hose. Got it. Sometimes pushing instead of pulling is better because when you push, it squishes that hose and kind of fattens it out. Okay, we got this thing also. Back here we could pull off. I guess there's a couple places it can come off. So that's gonna stay on. So let's just pull it off right here. Let's see if that's gonna cooperate with us. Just kind of twist the hose. Get a little pick, and we can get the pick in between the hose and the bib, or whatever you call that little nipple thing. Okay, and just break it free. There we go. Pop it off. There, that should be good enough. That should be good. This can stay. So far, so good. Now let's come and take this stuff off. 10 mil for our clamp. Before we get this loose, while this is being held in place, we're gonna get this off here. Just a little pair of pliers, pull the clamp off, and get the pick again, just going right in between the hose and the plastic. Okay, just breaking it free. Good, pull up. Nice. Okay, disconnect this, pull this off as this comes up. It's dark back here. What's back here? Oh, we got two more little clips. They look just like the front ones. Okay, now get this out of the way. Perfect. We'll just rest it over here. That is good enough. We have another 10 mil clamp here. And then this hose here might be easier to pull off of our valve cover. So just a little clamp, just like all of them have been. Nothing special. Okay, we'll twist and pull. Oh, got it. Just a little clamp. We'll make sure we put that back on. Okay, I believe that's it, and this can pop off. Nice. I think the throttle body connectors can just all stay on. All right, next we will take off our throttle body. There are 3 10mm bolts, and our throttle body can just hide in this little corner all by himself. Once those 3 are out, we have one 12mm bolt underneath, holding it to a support bracket. Pop that off. There, nice. Okay, that's free enough. It doesn't really have to come all the way out. Oh, we stuck on anyway though. There. Okay, that's this little home. We do have one more hose here in the back, right here. Pop that off, okay. Perfect. So next we're gonna blow around the manifold so none of that dirt and grit gets inside when we pull that off. You can use a vacuum if that works better for you. I think that is everything. If not, we'll soon find out. Now we have 10mm bolts holding on our upper manifold. Then we also have 2 nuts on either side, kind of hidden. We want to be careful with those nuts. I'm gonna get those with a magnet. Okay, I think that's it. Let's see. Nice, not too bad. Just for safety, we're gonna put some rags in here. That way when we're pulling off other stuff, we don't get anything dropping in here. Our next move is to carefully remove our fuel rail. There are 4 10mm bolts. We wanna wear eye protection just in case any fuel sprays at us. There shouldn't be any, just in case. Get those bolts. All right, just lightly pull up. What else is holding? Hold on. There's a 10mm bolt on this end. Let's see if that's it. I'm gonna disconnect these electrical connectors on this side. Okay, move that out of the way. Slowly pull up. The O-rings are just stuck in there. So just keep pulling. I might need to get a little pry bar. I'm just gonna see if this helps us a little. Just gotta find a good place to pry. Maybe right here. There we go. There we go. You're not prying a lot, just a little persuasion. There. Okay, so that side is free. Let's do this side. There we go. Nice. Both sides are free. So this can just come up and slough over just like that. I'm gonna get a vacuum. We're gonna vacuum out all this. There's some seeds and stuff. Looks like some mice have been building a retirement home. We have 2 12mm nuts, 1 on either end, and then the rest are a 6mm Allen. I'm gonna get those nuts first. This one in the corner, I have to use a 1/4 inch extension. Okay, before we pull this up, we have to disconnect this electrical connector. It goes to right here. Let me show you real quick. So with this electrical connector here, it's just pinch and pull. And then we need to get this off of its bracket. In the back, there's a little tab that gets pushed up, and then this just slides off. Sometimes you could just slide it off on its own, but let me get a little pick. So with a little pick, and we're just gonna put it right behind here, lift up, and it should push out. So up, might need 2 hands. Pick in the back, lift up, and then pull forward. There we go. So just like that. So it's this right here that you're trying to lift up. So little pick does the trick. Now we can lift up our manifold. I believe we're good to go. Perfect. All right, come to the bench. We want to transfer some stuff over. All right, brand shiny new one. Comes with new gaskets. That's pretty awesome. Pull these out. But first things first, we're gonna put these studs in. We don't have to pull the old ones out. The kit came with new ones. So we're just gonna put them in the exact same spot. And then right here, let me get the size on those, pretty small. There we go. It looks like a 5/32 or a 4mm. I think the 5/32 is a little better fit, but they're about the same. Okay, so just good and snug. They don't have to be too tight. Really, they don't have to be very tight at all. Okay, sweet, so that's good. Now we turn this over. I'll turn this over. Now we can pull all this stuff off. This is our position sensor here with this wire, and this is our actuator. So our actuator is 10mm. Where did I put my tune? Huh, where did I put it? Be very careful not to break the arm. Okay, and it should just pop off the bottom. There we go. So yeah, when you're pulling it off the bottom, just be careful not to break it. So now we can put it on this ball here. And it should just snap in. There we go. All right, now our position sensor, they're gonna be a Torx. Let me get that size. These are a T25. And these are just screws. So this should just pop out. You might need a little assistance with a screwdriver. Let's see what I got. Just a little small screwdriver. Just gonna get under it. There we go. Just a little O-ring holding it in place. Okay, I'm gonna reposition you because I want this to be hanging off the side of my table. I think that'd be easier than trying to lift it. All right, so our position sensor is keyed. We have a little key here. We want that to line up. Now this is movable just a little, not a whole lot, but it does move. So we're just gonna try to move this around. And we can manipulate this up and down to get that key to kind of move a little. It's not too complicated, it just needs to line up is all. Maybe it is complicated. My microphone died. So we ended up getting it. So it's just a matter of looking at the key, moving this up and down to get the receiving key to line up, and then you just push it in. We don't want to force it. It should feel right and just snap right in. Put this on. Now these screws should be self-tapping, and we're just going into plastic, so we don't want them too tight. So just snug. It's just holding that tiny little sensor on. All right, perfect. I'll tighten these down. Good and snug. I'll get a torque spec on the screen. I think that is good. Okay, we are ready to install. Let's go back on the engine. We have a few things we need to prep first. If there's more dirt hanging around, we want to vacuum that out. At this point, we don't want to blow anything because it will end up in our intake runners. So just take a rag. We're going to wipe, get our surface nice and clean. Get as much stuff off as possible. So we have a nice clean mating surface for our new gasket. Do that to both sides. All right, that's it. Prep is done. Easy enough. This is just what I like to do. It's up to you. But on our new gaskets, I like putting just a little silicone paste, just a little lubricant around our gasket. But these are rubber gaskets. Some people ask, do I need a gasket sealer or anything like that? Nope. You don't even need this if you don't want it. I think it just helps protect the gasket. Okay, now we just set it in. Set it over the studs. Perfect. Make sure our electrical connector comes out. Do our 2 side bolts. Okay, and drop these in. I'm gonna get these started by hand, get a couple threads started. All right, starting in the middle, we will snug these down. Now we'll put up as much torque specs as possible on the screen. Our nuts are a different torque than our bolts. Next is our fuel rail. And before these go back in, we're just gonna wipe our injector O-rings off, get them nice and clean. And we're gonna put a little bit of that dielectric grease as a lubricant so they fit right back in nice. We're just gonna put a little on each. Spread it around with our fingers. There we go, and that'll help it slide in. We're gonna aim our injectors. And we can push on the injectors to get them in. There. Take a peek and make sure they're in. Okay, they are in the hole. They still need to be pushed down. You'll kind of feel them fall into place. Nice. Oh, super easy. All right, we'll put these bolts in and torque them down. I'm gonna put our injector harness back on. Click, click, perfect. For our upper manifold, we're gonna do the same thing. Just a little bit of silicone paste. Now on this side, we're just gonna wanna wipe all that oil off. A nice, fresh, clean surface. While our manifold is movable, we're gonna get this back bolt, this support bracket bolt. Gonna get that in its spot. Nice. Now I'm not gonna tighten it all the way. We want these tight first, and then we'll tighten that bracket last. Some threads started. Snug those down. All right, we'll get a torque on those. Now this nut you can put on by hand pretty easily. But this one over here, if you need, you can put it on a magnet and then put it over, twist the magnet a few times to get some threads, and you can pull it off. Okay, there we go. That way you don't drop it down under. All right, now I'll tighten these the rest of the way. While we're on this side, we'll put our power steering line back on. I'm gonna torque that to G and S, good and snug. Let's do our wiring. Let's lay this out. All our connectors we can put back. Should all only fit in one place. Click them in. Nice. We can put our harness retainers back in. They should just snap in. This over here. Put it back on the bracket we pulled it off of. There we go. Got this here, snap in. Our injectors. You'll know right away if we forget those. Put this in. This can plug in here. Put in our 10 mils, G and S. I think that is it over here. So let's move over, we'll get all this button back up. Put our throttle body on. Okay, before we tighten those all the way up, put our lower bracket bolt on. A few threads. Okay, now we'll tighten these up. We'll get our lower bracket bolt. Get this hose back here back on. All right, so this goes back here, just so we don't forget these things. If you forget one of these hoses, you'll get a vacuum leak. And I guess you'll know. So we'll put this one back here, put this in. Got our retainer, click. This one here. Go ahead and put this in. There we go. And then before tightening anything, we'll get this in. Slide it down. There, perfect. Put this on. There we go. Make sure the bottom slides on properly. Okay, just like that. Just like that. Snug these up. So just snug. We don't want it too tight. The way these two wire clamps work, if you have it too tight, it can actually cut the boot. So we just want it nice and snug. We'll get this one here. Nice and snug. Okay, this back on. And we have our PCV hose here. We have that clamp we needed to put back on. Got a bigger pair of pliers for that. Okay. There, perfect. Let's double check everything. Make sure we got everything plugged in and tightened up. I think so. Last is our engine cover. I'm gonna put just a little bit of grease right here. Dielectric grease. There we go. And if you want, you can get these little nublets where it goes into. That's it. It should fall right in and snap way easier than before. If you can find it. There we go. There. It comes off really easy. A lot easier. Okay. Repair complete. Let's start it up. Alright, just gonna wipe this off for good measure. And we're done. Alright, that's it. These intake manifolds are an unfortunate flaw, but if you do have to replace yours, it's not too crazy. You can have this done in a couple of hours and back on the road. Now you do want to clear the code. If you don't have a code reader yourself capable of doing that, you can take it to the auto parts store. Maybe they can clear it for you. Or a few drive cycles, that light should go off on its own. A few repairs of opportunity. Spark plugs, depending on your mileage, spark plugs would be excellent to get to at this point because those back 3 are exposed. Other things you can replace are the fuel injector O-rings. That's optional. The throttle body gasket is also optional. And I think that's it. All right, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comment down below. We'll see you on the next one.